Still on the front page, another controversy that was brewed up by the opposition leader, and I believe this was last week on Monday, and this is to do with the water tunnel in Murang'a. But now, this particular story is Murang'a MPs in a 250 million deal after Raila's revelation. This, of course, is after the CS met stakeholders yesterday. Out of the pressure, he convened a meeting and called some of the leaders from Murang'a and stakeholders basically to allay any fears that they may have. And out of this negotiation, well, there seems to have been a 250 million deal that was settled upon.
Yes, quite right. I think what government did yesterday, what the CS for Water, Eugene Wamalwa, did is something that he ought to have done way back. He did not have to wait for the opposition to bring it out to the public domain. As it is, the Constitution and our laws require that where there is a project which is likely to affect the citizens, a project which has environmental consequences, then it is very cardinal for stakeholders, for the local community to be involved in a participatory process. As it is, it came out from the sentiments that were aired by not only the MPs, but also some of the civil society representatives. There had not been adequate consultations with the residents in terms of how do they benefit, in terms of how the project will bring user fees, because as it is, the project aims to divert some trillions liters of water from the 3 counties to Nairobi. And it is more or less a process which involves extraction. And being that the Constitution requires that where there are natural resources which benefit some people or being extracted from their community, then there has to be user fees. They need to benefit.
Right.
Not only in terms of social corporate responsibility initiatives, but also in terms of ongoing revenues that need to be shared. So it is quite obvious that from the sentiments which came out yesterday, there had been these concerns which were simmering below the surface, that the residents were really apprehensive that they are not going to benefit, and the government had not actually consulted them and put them in that process. But as it is, there is 250 million. That is 50 million each for the 5 water companies for them to boost their supplies and water in that area. But then also there's the other issue, which it means that it has to be legislated on. The national government, in conjunction with the counties, they have to pass legislation to make sure that there's benefit across the board.
Across the board. So that 250 million is basically going towards ensuring that the residents in those areas also benefit from the project, not just diverting water from that area.
Yes, actually it is in relation with the 5 water companies in terms of improving their supplies and infrastructure.
And that, of course, behooves us the question, why wasn't this done before? Why are they bringing this 250 million now, whereas it was not done before? However, there's also the question of the environment. I'm not sure that has been addressed, because one of the key things that the opposition leader, Raila Odinga, raised was the fact that this could have adverse negative effects on the environment over time.
Yes, of course, as it is, NEMA, that is the National Environmental Management Authority, is required to carry out an environmental impact audit assessment. This issue needs to be addressed soberly, not with the kind of emotions we've seen politicians throwing words left, right, and center. When that audit finally is out, then I think it has to be analyzed in terms of what are the consequences, negative or positive, that this project is going to accumulate. Obvious, being that but there has to be scientists, engineers, such that if there are going to be any adverse consequences, then there are ways in which those can be mitigated. Because the ultimate end goal is water provision, not only to those who are around those counties, but also to the residents of Nairobi.
Yes. All right, well, let's